Dusty was found living under a hedge in someone's garden. The person who found her realised that she was pregnant and felt that having the kittens under a hedge wouldn't be appropriate and asked us to take her in. When we took her in, Dusty was quite thin but otherwise healthy and in a very advanced state of pregnancy. I'm going to say, shortly after we took Dusty in, she went into labour. Luckily the person who was looking after her is a midwife and was able to observe her, and this person, one of our fosterers, realised that Dusty was struggling after several hours of labour with no results. We observed Dusty for a few more hours. She wasn't in distress, but she obviously wasn't progressing with the labour, so we took her to our vets where they were able to perform a caesarean section and delivered her of 2 kittens, both of which were alive. The kitten was presenting breech, tail first, which is the worst possible delivery because it makes it too wide to be born and it just simply can't get out. So it would have ended up blocking the cat and she would have not been able to deliver it and would have died eventually either heart failure or the kitten would have died inside her and have poisoned her.
I picked her up from the vets and she'd had a caesarean section and she was so very thin and she was absolutely exhausted, and the first night was very difficult because we weren't sure whether the kittens were feeding. So we stayed up with her most of the night. But as soon as we got her, she was incredibly purry. She purred all the time. She was really happy to be loved. I think she'd had to fend for herself for quite a long time. She's a young mum. They think she's probably only had a couple of seasons before she became pregnant. So she's well under a year. And although she's very purry, she was also anxious. After she'd got over a couple of days of being very tired after giving birth and having the caesarean, she was quite anxious. Worried about loud noises, and I just think the way she's behaved, she's probably had to fend for herself. She was also injured. She had an injury to her foot, so she'd obviously been out of her home for a long time, and she's just been absolutely amazing. She's an amazing mother. She's incredibly attentive, and as a family it's been a really enjoyable experience. The children love seeing the kittens grow and develop and change, and they're really good fun now at 6 weeks. They're quite crazy and funny, and they're always fighting with each other and playing. It's lovely.
We prioritise garden cats, as we call them, because they're living in gardens and they give birth to kittens in gardens, most of which do survive, and that leads to massive colonies of cats that are living wild, causing a nuisance, breeding, fighting, chasing off domesticated cats going into houses. So yes, we give priority to cats that are born in gardens or cats that are living in gardens to remove the nuisance value from the people who live there, but also to try and save as many of the cats' lives as possible.